very hard to establish. Listen, at this point, I think they're trying to end up with as high a pick as they can. It doesn't make any sense to me trading Pritchard and Flacco. And, I know that the Bengals were upset that they trade him in the division, but why wouldn't they? That means they lose another game when they play them.
He's basically saying that they're tanking. That's why they're playing Dylan Gabriel. I was one of the first people I think if you go back and look at my channel, that first game.
I'm not objective about this, but this was hitting bottom yesterday. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur, or at least Cold War on Shedeur, because he won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. And this is degenerated into every time he's...
Don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin. Something's not adding up in Cleveland. You can feel it. The tension, the silence, the weird energy around this team. It's not just about losing football games anymore. It's about power. It's about ego. And when that ex-Browns CEO dropped his bombshell about Stefanski's jealousy towards Shedeur Sanders, every Browns fan with eyes and ears knew something deeper was going on. Because you don't bury a player like Shedeur unless you're afraid of what happens when the lights hit him. Think about it. They said it was about development, about protecting him. But from what? From the game? From mistakes? Or from outshining the coach? Because let's be honest, that explanation doesn't pass the smell test. This isn't some raw prospect who can't handle pressure. This is Shedeur Sanders, a kid who grew up with cameras in his face, expectations on his back, and primetime blood in his veins. He's been built for moments like this, and yet somehow Cleveland's treating him like a distraction. Like he's the problem. Browns fans have lived through every type of dysfunction possible. Coaches fired mid-season, front office chaos, draft busts, quarterback carousels that felt endless. But this feels different. This feels calculated. The kind of quiet, uncomfortable drama that happens behind closed doors, when egos collide and careers get caught in the crossfire. You can sense it in how the team handles him. Limited footage, barely any interviews. 7-second clips that show nothing. It's almost like they're trying to erase his presence, to keep his name off the headlines until they can figure out what to do with him. And that's not football strategy. That's control. That's a front office playing PR chess while the locker room burns. And let's talk about Stefanski for a second, because this is where things start to get messy. 6 years in, and what do the Browns really have to show for it? One playoff win, a fan base that's losing patience, and now a potential franchise quarterback sitting in the shadows. If the reports are true, if Stefanski's really threatened by Dion's presence, if he's worried that prime time could outshine him in his own building, then we're looking at something much bigger than a depth chart decision. We're looking at fear of losing control, fear of losing the narrative, fear of being replaced by the very energy that could save your team. But here's the wild part. The more they hide Shedeur, the louder the noise gets. Every fan video, every sideline shot, every whisper from the media only fuels the mystery. It's like trying to hold back a wave with your bare hands. Because when a player has that kind of charisma, that kind of potential, you can't contain it forever. It leaks through the cracks. It shows up in practice throws, in teammates' reactions, in the way fans light up just hearing his name. And that's what's got everyone asking the same question right now. Not just in Cleveland, but around the league. This isn't just about one player sitting, it's about what it represents. A team that's more worried about optics than progress. A coach protecting his pride instead of his season. So let's be real. The Browns can keep pretending it's about development all they want, but the truth, it's about something way darker. This is ego versus opportunity, politics versus potential. A franchise at war with itself while greatness waits on the sideline. And the question every Browns fan has to ask is simple. Is this about winning or about control? Let's be real. This isn't just a quarterback controversy anymore. This is a full-on power struggle inside the Cleveland Browns organization. You can feel the tension from the top down, front office, coaching staff, ownership. Everyone's playing their own game, and the players are the ones paying the price. It all starts with those comments from the former Browns CEO. That wasn't some random talking head throwing out hot takes. That was a man who's been inside the building. He's seen the way decisions get made, the politics behind the curtain, and when he came out and basically said, yeah, they're tanking, it confirmed what every Browns fan's been screaming for weeks. That this mess isn't just about bad football, it's about dysfunction at the highest level. Kevin Stefanski wants control. Andrew Berry wants to protect his vision. Jimmy Haslam? He just wants headlines that make him look like a genius owner again. And caught in the middle of all that is Shedeur Sanders, the one guy who could change everything, but the one guy they're terrified to unleash. Because think about it. How does a team this desperate for offense, this starved for hope, decide to hide their most exciting player? How do you have one of the most marketable, polarizing, dynamic young quarterbacks in football, and you lock him behind closed doors like a secret? You can't convince me that's by accident. That's strategy. That's fear disguised as development. Look at how they've handled his media presence. No interviews, barely any practice footage. Just short, muted clips that reveal nothing. It's like the Browns are running a witness protection program for their own rookie. Why? Because they know the second fans see Shedeur letting it rip in practice. The pressure skyrockets. Every throw, every smile, every flash of that primetime confidence becomes a story. And that kind of attention, it doesn't fit Stefanski's comfort zone. He's built his whole identity around control, around being the quiet, steady, system-first coach. Shedeur blows that entire system up just by existing. Meanwhile, Dylan Gabriel's out there getting thrown to the wolves. And look, I feel for the kid. He's trying. He's doing what the team asks. But anyone watching can see what's happening. He's not being evaluated. He's being sacrificed. That offensive line is in shambles, the play calling's predictable, and the front office is using him as a human shield to protect their narrative. See, it's not the coach's fault. It's just a rebuild. It's just growing pains. Nah, man, that's manipulation. That's damage control. Because here's the truth they don't want to admit. If Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field and balls out, the entire house of cards collapses. It proves they were wrong. It exposes how long they've been hiding behind excuses. It forces a reckoning in Cleveland that Stefanski and Berry might not survive. And that's the real reason they're keeping him under wraps. It's not about readiness, it's about power. It's about two men protecting their reputations at the cost of a franchise starving for life. The fans can see it. The media feels it. The players in that locker room definitely know it. You can't hide tension like that forever, because at the end of the day, you don't hide greatness unless you're afraid of what happens when people see it. At some point, you stop being angry, and you just get tired. That's where Browns fans are right now. Tired of the promises, tired of the next year will be different speeches, tired of watching talent get wasted because the people in charge can't get out of their own way. Cleveland fans have been through everything. Quarterback chaos, coaching changes, rebuild after rebuild, and still they show up. Rain, snow, heartbreak. They keep believing. But this Shedeur Sanders situation, this one hits different. This feels like betrayal, because for the first time in a long time, there was hope, real, tangible hope. A young quarterback with pedigree, poise, and presence. The kind of guy that could actually shift a franchise's identity. And instead of nurturing that, instead of embracing it, the Browns are choking it out. They're doing what they have always done, protecting egos, not progress. You can't talk about development and then turn around and hide your most promising player like he's some sort of PR problem. That's not strategy, that's fear, and fans see it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can feel it in the stadium, in the comments, in every post-game rant. The energy's changed. People aren't mad because the team's losing. They're mad because they can't trust the people running it anymore. Every time Stefanski steps to the podium with another vague answer about the process, it's like nails on a chalkboard. We've heard that word too many times. The process, the vision, the long-term plan. Meanwhile, other teams are out here doing it. Look at San Francisco. They gave a kid named Brock Purdy the keys, the last pick in the draft. And he didn't just survive, he thrived. Look at Houston. C.J. Stroud came in, no drama, no politics, and instantly changed the culture. Those franchises didn't overthink it. They trusted what they saw, they trusted their locker room, and they trusted their fans enough to make bold moves. Cleveland, they're still hiding behind excuses, acting like accountability is optional. And that's what makes this so painful for the people who bleed orange and brown. It's not about stats. It's not even about wins right now. It's about honesty. It's about the relationship between a city and its team, one that's been strained, patched, and broken again more times than anyone can count. Fans gave this regime time. They gave them patience. But patience runs out when effort starts feeling fake. And then there's Shedeur, the quiet storm in the middle of all this chaos. No rants, no cryptic tweets, no headlines. Just work. You can see it in the little moments. The way teammates dap him up, the way the media scrambles for scraps of footage. He's handling it like a pro, and yet he's the one being punished for the noise other people created. It's almost poetic in a tragic way. The one guy who actually embodies focus and discipline is the one the franchise refuses to reward. And that's the reality Cleveland fans are facing. It's not just about football anymore. It's about trust. It's about leadership. It's about knowing that the people at the top care about winning as much as the people in the stands do. And right now, that faith is cracking. Because let's call it what it is. Cleveland doesn't just have a losing problem. It has a leadership problem. You can feel it building. It's not just a rumor anymore. It's a movement. You can hear it in the chants creeping into home games, see it in the signs fans are holding behind the sideline, feel it in the way the cameras start to linger just a little longer on Shedeur Sanders, standing on the sideline in that brown and orange hoodie. It's coming. Everyone knows it. The only ones pretending not to are the ones trying to keep their jobs. This is what happens when you try to hide electricity in a power outage. When you've got something real, something that moves people, no amount of silence, spin, or controlled messaging can stop it. The locker room feels it. The media feels it. The fans definitely feel it. Every practice clip, every sideline glimpse, every short video that leaks online, it just adds fuel to the fire. The more they try to contain Shedeur, the bigger the story gets. And now with every loss, that pressure grows heavier. The ex-CEO's words keep echoing louder. They're tanking, but fans are starting to push back. Because if this was about the future, you'd be giving the future a chance. Instead, it looks like sabotage. It looks like politics. And when you mix those things with a fan base that's been starving for a spark, you've got a recipe for something that's about to explode. I'm telling you right now, the whispers inside that building are real. Players talk, assistants talk. They see the way Shedeur is carrying himself. Calm, locked in, working after practice when the cameras are gone. They see the way veterans gravitate toward him. They see what's coming. It's like that quiet before a storm, when the air gets heavy and you know something's about to break. And you can't help but feel that when he finally steps on that field, it's not just going to be a game. It's going to be a moment. The kind that flips everything. The kind that rewrites the entire season in one half of football. Because this league has seen it before. Every legend, every franchise-altering quarterback started as the guy someone tried to keep in the shadows. Jalen Hurts in Philly, Lamar in Baltimore. Even Mahomes sat and waited while the world pretended Alex Smith was the answer. You can delay greatness, but you can't erase it. That's the position Cleveland's in right now. They're standing in front of a tidal wave, hands out, acting like they can stop it. But the fans know, the players know, the entire league knows. When you've got a player with that kind of charisma, that kind of bloodline, and that kind of composure, you're not talking about if, you're talking about when. And that's what makes this so powerful. Shedeur isn't just another quarterback waiting for a chance. He's a symbol, a reminder that truth doesn't stay hidden forever. You can't bury energy like that because every week, every loss, every soundbite only makes the truth louder. So yeah, they can keep playing this game. They can shuffle quarterbacks, dodge questions, and pretend the noise doesn't exist. But deep down, they know exactly what's coming. The clock's ticking, the fans are chanting, the pressure's mounting. They can delay it, but they can't deny it. This is it, the breaking point. The moment where excuses fade and truth finally steps onto the field. We've heard the rumors, the inside whispers, the CEO's bombshell, the constant media spin. But at some point, words stop mattering. The scoreboard takes over. The film doesn't lie. And when Shedeur Sanders finally gets that shot, when they can no longer hide him behind press conferences and backup reps, the entire narrative in Cleveland changes overnight. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about one quarterback anymore. This is about a culture that's been scared of its own reflection, a team that's been so busy protecting egos, it forgot what real leadership looks like. Kevin Stefanski can talk about the process all he wants, but football isn't about preserving your job. It's about producing results. And the reality is, Cleveland's been running from the truth for far too long. You can feel it in the fan base. This city is done with the fake smiles and half explanations. They're craving authenticity. They want a reason to believe again. And Shedeur, whether he knows it or not, represents that hope. He's not just a player, he's a mirror, a reflection of everything this franchise has been too afraid to embrace. Swagger, pressure, expectation. All the things great teams learn to harness, not hide from. When he finally steps out there, it won't just be another quarterback debut. It'll be a cultural shift. The stadium will feel it before the ball's even snapped. The cameras will catch it. The energy will flip instantly, because fans have been waiting for this, waiting for someone who can give them a reason to care again, a reason to feel proud. And I'll say this right now, once Shedeur gets that chance, it's over. Over for the doubters who said he couldn't handle the NFL spotlight. Over for the coaches who thought they could slow roll him until next season. Over for every insider who tried to paint him as a distraction instead of a difference maker. Once he takes that first real snap, the old guard crumbles, the excuses evaporate, the truth wins. Because we've seen this story before. Every generation has that one player who exposes the cracks, the one who forces change just by being undeniable. And that's exactly what Shedeur is. He's not asking for favoritism. He's not begging for headlines. He's just waiting for the moment when his game gets to speak for itself. And when it does, it's going to speak loud. This is the reckoning Cleveland's been avoiding. A moment of truth that's been building all season. They can't spin their way out of it anymore. They can't hide behind development or timelines. Not when fans, players, and even former executives are calling it like they see it. Because at the end of the day, you can silence interviews, restrict footage, and play politics. But you can't suppress talent forever. You can't bury energy this strong. You can't hold back destiny. They can fight it all they want. But the truth always comes out. And when it does, it's going to come out wearing number 2 and rewriting everything we thought we knew about the Cleveland Browns.